In 1978, when I discovered the tunnel, at this point, it was only about so full, and the rest of it was open. This stone, well, part of the keystone of the vault had fallen down.
Right.
And that had fallen down because the stones on the side had disintegrated, essentially, allowing it to fall in.
Okay.
Our job now was to put this back into place. We had to lift it up, hold it up, prop it, so on and so forth, and then put in new stone that would hold it in place. The new stone being as close as possible to the chemical composition of the ancient stone, so that we have a symbiotic association between the new and the old. But now our keystone's back in place. How many years is that? 30 odd years since I found it. And we've got the new stone holding it there so we can walk through here without any fear of surprise bumps on our heads.
So you would enter from the direction I'm pointing and go straight down into the stadium, emerging, blinking into the daylight, and feel the sand that people ran on 2,000 years ago as you prepared for your 100-metre race. I'm walking along the tunnel, along the floorboards that are used by the archaeologists, towards the stadium. They're getting ready for the games.
We reinforce it with rods made of titanium, which are scored on the side so the stone will grip, and these are in the core of all the new stones that you see.
So it should give it very long life.
We hope so. Here is an example of what I'm talking about. There's a new stone here, and new stones will go in above it and to the right of it. But you can imagine that within the core of the stone is such reinforcing. Here's the difference between what's solid and what's not. That's solid. Solid, solid. It's up in there. Whoop. Whoop. Yeah. These stones at the end of the tunnel were removed in the late 6th century after Christ by someone who was looking for shelter, looking for a bomb shelter, I think it would be the best expression for it. And he crawled in, and he brought in with him his pots and pans and lamps and coins, what have you, and then we found him. His bones had been ripped apart. There's a wound on the top of his head. We don't know if that wound was the cause of death. The anthropologists say not, that it was healing at the time of death, and so we don't have a cause of death, but he stayed in here. And then the earth came back in, filled up the hole, and we came along 1,500 years later and found the hole, and now we're trying to replace the missing stones after 1,500 years of
It's astonishing.